Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to talk about The Stylist, which is a psychological horror film in the vein of May and Maniac about a deeply disturbed hairstylist trying desperately to make connections with other people, and when failing to do that, going on killing sprees to make herself feel better.
Yeah.
Now, the core thing about this movie is that she's trying to make a connection to a very specific woman. In that sense, I do feel comfortable calling this an LGBT horror film because it very much read to me...
It has a sexual component.
Yeah, it read to me that she had a sexual/romantic interest in this person. But because the person is married, it's not meant to be, which causes conflict. But we'll get more into that when we get into the spoilers. But this movie is very much like, the reason why I mentioned movies like May and Maniac is because, unlike, say, The Columnist, which we just reviewed last time, this is not a comedy.
Yeah. Well,
there's funny shit.
There's funny shit that
happens. There's funny shit, but this is not a comedy.
Yeah.
I think you'd be called a psychopath if you thought this was a comedy. This movie's much more tragic.
It's definitely tragic.
It's much more tragic and emotionally wrenching. You know, you're deeply empathizing with a deeply disturbed character whose anxiety is through the roof and whose self-image is just in the dumps. And watching them try to make these connections they can't make. Yeah. You know, because not only is there something like deeply wrong with them that makes them so socially awkward.
Yeah.
They're not actually capable of making the connections they want to make.
Correct.
You know?
Definitely. One of the twists is that, unlike May, or Maniac, you know, the stylist is very attractive.
Yes.
Very physically attractive.
She's extremely pretty. But she doesn't...
Social interactions are so weird.
She's super awkward.
Yeah.
But she also doesn't see herself as pretty. In fact, that's part of her problem. Part of her psychosis and her thing, and this really isn't a spoiler because it's kind of the premise of the movie, is she kills other women, scalps them, and then wears their scalps in private and takes on their personas. Yeah. It's kind of like a Leatherface kind of thing, where like Leatherface takes their faces and then starts wearing it.
Well, didn't fucking Joe Spinell also like scalp?
He did have some weird things like that. Yeah. He would put them on the mannequins.
The mannequins, whereas she would wears them herself.
Because for him, it was about having the women around him in his life, right? Like he wants these women.
Yeah. Whereas in this one, she wants to be somebody else.
Yeah, she has this simultaneous thing where there is one particular woman that she wants, but there's also this wanting to be other women. Yeah. You know, like this movie's the ultimate, do I want to be you or do I want to fuck you? Yeah. It's the ultimate fucking like struggle that she goes throughout this entire movie.
And one of the funny things is that the woman she's fixated on is played by Brea Grant.
Yes.
Who at this point is kind of getting... is constantly in the role of woman psychotic woman is obsessed with.
Yeah, apparently. She was also in that that great movie After Midnight that we reviewed a few months back.
Yeah.
And she also directed 12-Hour Shift, which we have not vlogged, but is a really great movie and you should all check out.
Yeah, it has the actress who played May the title role in it.
100%.
You know, and that is also a female psychosis movie.
There's a 6 degrees of May you could do with this movie. Especially since the director of this movie actually did say that May was one of her main inspirations. Her main inspirations were Leatherface, May, and Carrie. And you could totally see that in the movie.
Yeah.
That's the main inspirations for the story. Visually, the main inspirations for the movie are Brian De Palma films. And you can see that in the way, like she does, like she'll do a constant split diopter shots as well as split screens and things like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
She also uses a lot of Argento style lighting, which so did De Palma. De Palma did big time.
Yeah, it's like if people are like, "Hey, is De Palma ripping off
Argento?"
Hell yeah, he was. Hell yeah, steal from the best, baby.
Also, some Ingmar Bergman films were also inspirations.
Yes, yeah,
which you could also see.
Yeah, and there's some shots that I recognize from some of the De Palma films that that most people don't remember as much, like Blow Up.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And that's the thing that I really loved about this movie. I love this movie's execution because I'm a big fan of De Palma's visual style. All his movies weren't necessarily great, but like even his worst movies had a great visual style to them.
Yeah, even Raising Cain looked neat.
Exactly.
You know?
And this movie shot that way, and I love that. And it also helped that I actually did really like this character.
Oh, yeah. You follow her the whole time,
like,
and you sympathize
you
with her.
feel super protective of her. Like, even though you know that she's a danger to everyone around her,
yeah,
you also have that moment of like, oh no, she didn't, when someone like says something shitty about her. Like,
yeah, because you're like, whoa, hold on there, sister.
Yeah, come on, don't be mean to her. I know she's a psychopathic serial killer, but you don't know that.
You just being a bait.
Exactly, exactly. But I also just love the because like they do this really. She does this really cool thing at the movie where she films all the hairstyling scenes like they're sex scenes.
Yeah.
Very slow motion montagey where you're like fading in between with like really sensual music playing.
Yeah. Very, very De Palma.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So you know that like the hair thing, the switching of hair thing is not just a identity thing, it's also a sexual thing for her.
Yeah, like that's where a lot of the similarities between like the De Palma films like Blow Up and Raising Cain are.
Yeah.
You know?
As well as Maniac. Because Maniac, 100%, there was a hypersexual thing with the way he killed the women, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
100%. There's also, like, and the Carrie aspect really comes in with how much you care about her.
Yeah, even though you know she's doing something wrong, you know?
There's even a point where she's wearing a dress that's very reminiscent of Carrie's prom dress.
Yep.
That she steals from one of her victims. Okay, I love the way she looks in this movie because she has a bunch of iconic looks. Any one of which, if you decided to like cosplay this character, you could choose.
Oh, yeah.
And you would immediately know it was the stylist.
Yeah.
You know? I especially like the one where she's wearing the Carrie dress and the fur coat.
Yeah, the disheveled fur coat. Yeah. Yeah, all you have to do is just fucking give her a pair of scissors. You're there,
and there you are. They are, you know, like maybe put some like blood right here, so like it looks like you're wearing one of the scalps.
Exactly. I think that's going to be the trademark. Actually.
That's the iconic.
Yeah,
that's the iconic image. Is her with the bloody scalp on top of her, wearing the bloody scalp.
You'll see what we mean. When you see it, you'll know.
It's very Leatherface, and I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. This is also a movie where you kind of follow her into her own psychosis as the movie goes on, much like Maniac and May.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like that. It's really good. It's a lot of fun too.
It is. And where it goes, what the fuck? Okay, it's not quite Tales from the Crypt, but it's almost a Tales from the Crypt kind of ending.
It's a kind of thing that Tales from the Crypt might have done. They just didn't, as far as I know.
It's as ghoulish as a Tales from the Crypt style ending. The difference would be a Tales from the Crypt ending would have been more of a just desserts for a character that deserved it.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's not necessarily someone who deserves it.
Yeah, it's not necessarily just desserts because it's not.
But like I could see it felt like it was ripped straight from like an EC Comics page. Like, you know, like the fucked up image that it gives you at the end, which we'll talk about in the spoiler section, but like. But I love the ending. It's so fucking what the fuck. And you're probably going to be able to figure out what it's going to be halfway through the movie, but even knowing it's coming does not change.
It's still beautiful. It's still wonderful.
But yeah, so The Stylist, it's an LGBT horror film in the style of May and Maniac. It's really good. It's really dark and disturbing. It's fun. It's funny in parts, but I would not call it a comedy.
Yeah.
And I think you should all check it out. Like, if you were the type of person who was mad that there weren't like movies like Joker, but about women, Recently, we've had a couple movies that kind of fit that bill. Between this, The Columnist, and Titane, you have 3 movies.
Yeah, definitely. Probably Titane most so.
Yeah.
You know?
You have these 3 movies that psychologically explore these various serial killers in different ways. This one's more like a De Palma movie. The Columnist was a black comedy. And Titane was a body horror goddamn movie.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Titane was like Tetsuo the Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
That movie's fun.
But they're all like it's like a trilogy of female serial killer movies.
There's been a whole bunch of. There've been a lot more of these lately, exploring, you know, dark female impulses.
Absolutely, and I'm all for it. Give me more.
No. Like, of course, like they're great movies.
I love Maniac. I love Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. I love May. So movies that are like that, I'm all for.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Martin was one about a vampire, but very similarly themed.
Oh, actually. Yeah. Now that you mention it, The Stylist probably reminds me the most of Martin.
Yeah.
Like
that one's about a vampire, but it's a very similar type of movie.
Yeah, but it's a very similar type of movie. It's very similar tone.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, including, were we supposed to laugh at that?
Yeah.
You know, like,
there are moments where you know you're supposed to cry. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's also just so uncomfortable to watch her have her meltdowns.
Oh,
you know, like they're so raw and real. They're not like movie meltdowns.
No,
they feel like the real meltdown you would see someone having in person if they were actually having that bad of a panic attack.
Yeah. If you were watching them in private from somewhere. You know, it's a very like a good De Palma flick. It's very voyeuristic.
May was like that too.
Yeah,
you know, May 100% had those similar types of meltdowns.
Yeah, but it got more into the that was a little bit more watching from the inside of May's head.
True, because you don't know what's real and what's not, because you're like you see the psychosis of the doll and stuff like that.
So you're like, oh, we're supposed to really be getting this from the inside of May's head.
You don't have that as much in The Stylist.
No, because like I said, because it's a De Palma flick, that means it's very voyeuristic.
Except for like one beat at the very end, which we'll talk about in the spoiler section.
Yeah.
So The Stylist, it is currently available to rent on various platforms. I do not think it is currently on any like streaming platform that's not to rent. So you're just gonna have to pay out and watch it. But it's totally worth it. It's a really good movie. I enjoyed it.
We paid like $4 on Amazon.
I think it was like $5.99 or something.
Yeah. I was like,
you know, but it was totally worth it. Basically, I wanted to watch it because we were kind of on a kick on female serial killer explorations between Titane, The Columnist, and this. I was just like, what? Let's complete the trilogy. You know, let's watch The Stylist. You know, I don't think it was my favorite of the 3, but it was definitely a good watch.
Yeah.
You know? And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, there is a dog in the movie, but it is not killed.
Yeah,
so,
there doesn't seem to be any animal.
So if you start the movie and you see the cute little puppy lives. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There's just
a lot of other people are on the menu.
This is a case where women have to worry more than anything.
Yes.
Her victims
are... she doesn't actually kill any guys.
No, because her victims are people that she wants to be.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to be a guy.
Yeah, she wants to be a woman. You know.
Yeah. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, let's move on to the spoilers.
There's really only one spoiler when you really get down to it, and that's that fucking end.
So the basic plot of this movie is that she is obsessed with one of her clients. It is a client that is getting married and needs her to basically be part of her wedding ceremony and be her stylist for her wedding, because the stylist she hired for the wedding drops out last minute. Which means she ends up spending a lot more time with this client than she normally does with other clients.
Yeah.
And she starts to fall in love with the client as the movie goes on. But the problem is the client is getting married to a guy and is probably not even bi.
Yeah.
She seems to be pretty straight.
Pretty heterosexual, yeah.
So this causes a lot of conflict for her. And you're watching over the course of the movie as like, she starts to become too clingy and too obsessed, and it starts to get her pushed away, and like the client's friends don't like her, and like every time something goes wrong and she has a meltdown, she has to kill someone else and assume an identity for a brief period of time just to feel good again.
Yeah.
You know, and basically the whole movie is culminating to the wedding. And you're sitting there watching this movie like, what's going to happen at the wedding? What's she going to do? And this is where the major spoilers come in. For the rest of the movie, most of it is pretty straightforward, right? You have, okay, she's obsessed with this person and she's going to target random people she sees on the street. She's going to try to target people that this person knows, but then choose not to because it's too risky.
Yeah.
So she goes out with the girl, like parties or something, or goes and helps her with her hair or whatever. Something goes wrong. She kills somebody.
Oh, also,
that's the pattern.
Also, much like Joe Spinell from Maniac. God, Frank Zito.
Yeah.
Much like Frank Zito, mother issues.
Yes, big time mother issues, because we find out as the movie goes on that her mom was also a stylist, and her mom probably had some sort of identity disorder, like a BPD kind of thing, because she talks about her mom constantly changing her hair and doing these things that I've come to learn are BPD symptoms.
Yeah, a lot of them are BPD symptoms.
you know, which probably explains her own identity issues that she has. Like,
yeah.
She's definitely got some sort of personality disorder.
Yeah. It's not necessarily BPD, because one of the hallmarks of BPD is the avoidance of the responsibility for one's own feelings.
Oh yeah.
And
she blames herself for everything.
She blames herself for everything.
Yeah. It's not BPD, but it definitely seems some sort of personality disorder. Because she definitely
something's going on.
You know, but like, and you find out about her mom, and her mom like apparently like constantly was bringing guys home and doing all this stuff, and then a mom eventually died in a drunk driving accident, basically.
Yep.
And so she has mom issues, much like Maniac.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to care for men like in the slightest.
No, yeah, she
very much comes across as lesbian.
Yeah.
You know.
She doesn't seem to like any man that she runs into.
No, like she has one that she's a stylist for, but like she doesn't. There's no sexy montage of doing his hair.
She either doesn't notice them or she hates them.
There was no sexy montage doing his hair. You know,
no. Not. It's one of those like when people are, if you were like, oh yeah, she's completely not attracted to men. Yeah. Completely.
And don't tell me, because I know I've seen some people interpret this as she just wanted to be friends with Brea.
Fuck no!
No.
The vibrator scene alone should have been the tip.
There's this whole scene where she breaks into her house when she's not there. I think she's at the wedding rehearsal or something like that.
Yeah.
She breaks into the house, changes into one of her clothes, and this is where she gets the Carrie-looking like prom dress thing. Goes through her underwear. And it doesn't seem like she's going through the underwear because she wants to wear it, to be clear.
Yeah.
And ends up finding her bullet vibrator, those little tiny little vibrators, and then starts using it on herself. Obviously getting off on the fact that it is her vibrator.
Yeah.
And what I love about this scene is the epitome of, do you want to be her or fuck her?
Yeah.
You know, which I often...
And does she even know?
Does she even know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a question that's looming over the entire movie for the whole thing. And I think at different points in the movie, she has different thoughts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But all of this ends up culminating on the wedding. When she finally shows up at the wedding. And you have this scene where she does the hair and she gets alone with her. And she has this scene where she breaks down crying because the character had said early on in the movie that when the wedding was over, we're going to go on these runs because the girl who's getting married goes on these runs every day.
Athletic chick.
And we're going to go on these runs together so we can hang out when the wedding's over, so we have an excuse to or whatever. And the main character, the stylist, breaks down crying and it's just like, I don't run. And she doesn't even remember the run conversation.
Yeah,
she's like,
what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't run. And she's breaking down. And then we cut from that to the wedding proper taking place. The music is swelling. Everyone's walking down the aisle. The groom is waiting. And then the bride comes down the aisle to the usual bride song. The Here Comes the Bride song.
Yeah.
They get there. The groom lifts up the veil. And it's the stylist wearing the girl's hair, because she killed her in the back room and assumed her identity. And for a brief moment, you get a flash of that character's face on the stylist's face. So you see what she's seeing.
Yeah.
That she's not her anymore. She's now that character. And the movie ends with everyone going, what did you do to her? And they're running in the back and screaming when they find the body. And her standing at the altar alone as everyone just departs. Yeah. And she starts to like break down and cry and it ends on her face. Because she assumed the identity, but she's still alone.
But no one accepted her.
No one accepted her. It's so fucked up and dark and ghoulish.
Oh my god.
And like that fucking husband, what did you do to her?
Like, oh my god.
And then don't get me wrong, there are points where the husband was kind of a jerk, but he wasn't so much of a jerk that he deserved this.
Yeah.
For the most part, he seemed like a good husband.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like, he had that one moment where he interrupted her, but it wasn't like a big deal, but she obsessed over it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like, that might have been a clue to, preview things to come, but also could very easily not.
Yeah.
You know?
Like you definitely get like she has a skewed perception of him because she likes her and doesn't like him.
Yeah. Also, like the entire time, when we are near her, the camera will deliberately avoid focusing on any male presence.
Yeah. The one time it does is the one time where she's uncomfortable in the coffee shop and there's that one guy staring at her.
Yeah.
That's the one time.
Yeah, it's the one time.
You know.
And I thought that was a beautiful touch.
And that just kind of established her discomfort with men in general and stuff. Like, not only is she already just uncomfortable with men, this guy is even more uncomfortable because he's creeping on her, you know?
Yeah. You know, like I thought that was a great touch.
I also like that her victims, with the exception of the first one that you see, definitely did not deserve their fates.
Oh no, not at all.
Like she kills this one barista halfway into the movie. When something goes terribly wrong, when she goes out with the
that was the thing I thought it was really interesting. Like, the murder is the thing that she does to make herself feel better.
Yeah, and she kills the barista, and the barista was a really nice barista. She remembered her order and everything, and even got her order when she was all out of flustered and stuff. And it was just like, here, this will help you, you know. And then even let her in and got her a cup of coffee when the store was closing, even though she didn't have to. Like, very nice barista, but she gets the most brutal death.
Oh.
Because the main character, the stylist, realizes that she accidentally stole the scarf of the girl that she's obsessed with while she's scalping the knocked out barista, and ends up like fucking slicing her face. Yeah. And she wakes up from the scalping because she drugs her victims before she kills them, with the exception of like her final, except for it's like last two victims she doesn't.
Yeah.
She doesn't do it to the married chick. And she doesn't do it to the rocker
girl,
who she just does because obviously she's letting off steam at that point and needs to assume a new identity and just completely lost her marbles at that point. Sits there watching cartoons, wearing her scalp while eating her dried up pizza.
Yeah.
And laughing, and it's just like, wow, she's gone. Cool detail though. The rocker chick was wearing a shirt for the movie The Ranger, which is awesome.
Yes.
If you haven't seen The Ranger, I think we did a vlog on it way back when. Really good movie. Really good slasher. Yeah. Also a slasher with LGBT representation, so rock on. Rocker chick didn't deserve it, you know? She was just partying with her friends and in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Exactly.
You know, and neither did the barista. You could argue that the first victim may have deserved it via horror movie rules because she was cheating on her boyfriend.
Right.
But
you could tell that like what the stylist was attracted to was that sort of libertine attitude.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
it was the attitude she wanted. That's why when she puts on the hair, she like repeats the whole like, well, we don't always get what we want. Like, just,
dear.
You know, it's just the actress is amazing in this.
Yeah, she really did. She did a really good job.
Like the point when she tries to put on the blonde hair, and it's not the married chick's blonde hair, but she tries to put on the persona of the married chick.
Yeah.
Like for a second, I thought they were using that chick's voice because it sounded so much like her.
Yeah.
Like it sounded like Brea.
Yeah.
You know?
And if they did do that, then that syncing was perfect. You know, like
Oh, another creepy detail. She keeps recording conversations with people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so she can imitate their voice.
Yeah.
To no one but herself.
Yeah, so she can listen to it over and over again on loop and then imitate the voice, and it's really creepy. It's really creepy. Yeah, like, man, if anyone wanted a lesbian maniac, here it is.
Oh, yeah.
Here it is.
No, it was great.
I really dug the hell out of this movie. I think like if you're into these kind of like psychological exploration horror movies that follow the killer as opposed to the victim, because this is very much like imagine if you were doing like Single White Female from the single white female's perspective.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's kind of like that, except instead of just wanting to assume the identity, she also wants to fuck her. And if you like,
which I mean, honestly, you felt probably kind of should have been there in the first place.
Oh yeah, I think if they remake Single White Female, they should go that route.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Personally, yeah. But if you like those kind of movies, then this one's definitely worth a watch. So is the other two that we watched recently, The Columnist, Titane. All three of those movies are really great explorations that are very different from one another, even though they're a similar type of movie.
Yeah.
And they're all filmed very differently. It just shows that you could take similar premises and go completely different directions.
Yeah. Because Titane is very obviously, a French extremity film.
Yeah.
The Columnist was...
It's a satire. It's a black comedy.
A black comedy satire. And this one was obviously made with the intention of looking like, like a De Palma flick.
Yeah.
And it succeeded really well.
Absolutely, with all the like psychological like elements that De Palma always injected into his movies.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And I also look forward to whatever this filmmaker does next. I think this was either her first film or her second film. It's like she's a very.
I think it's the first one that was in the genre we saw.
Yeah. So I look forward, if she wants to do more horror movies, I'm gonna watch them. I'll put her name right here too, so that you can look up her filmography as well, because I dug this movie.
Yeah. Wasn't this movie also produced by Brea Grant?
Yeah. She was one of the people involved with it. It's really cool.
It's a good movie.
I like it.
It's a good movie. Definitely should watch it. I don't know how to put it. Sometimes the movie was so tragic it was funny.
I get that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I definitely laughed a little bit at the end, but I laughed in the kind of horrified way you do.
Yeah.
When you're looking at something so horrifying.
Yeah, and you're just like my brain just melted. Her
smiling with that scalp in the wedding dress while the groom is just fucking recoiling. Yeah, I started laughing just because, holy shit, that's fucked up. That's so fucked up.
Well, it's like, I feel like someone has figured out how to make the tragic comedy, you know? I don't know how else to fucking put it. I haven't seen anything. Normally that's something that I have to be watching like a fucking, like an Iglesia film for, Like usually you don't, because even like other movies of this type that I really like Maniac and its remake, they don't end on a punchline like that.
Well, this movie 100% ends on a punchline.
Yeah.
It is 100% a punchline. Like, you think the movie's going to keep going after that, and you're like, nope, this is just end.
Nope, that's just it.
And
she's sad now. She tried to be this woman, she was rejected.
Yeah, and credits. Like, like, the end.
Yeah, like, it's a little bit of Portnoy's complaint.
Yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that. So, anything else you want to say about The Stylist?
No, you should check it out, definitely. It's really, 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 really good.
Absolutely. Great performance from the lead. Probably, like, man, of these three movies, probably the best,
It's the best looking.
Yeah, it's the best looking movie, but probably, like, the best lead performance. All the other performances are great. So this just tells you how great her performance is.
Yeah.
Because she, even more so than the other two movies, gets so into the psychology of the character that, like, you stop seeing an actor, like...
Yeah, because, like, unlike the other two, which sometimes switch perspectives, change perspectives a bit, with this one, it's thoroughly from her fucking perspective.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, I don't think we ever leave that.
We never go inside her head, but we always see, like, at least, like, her perspective.
Yeah, we're always watching her.
Yeah.
You know, we're always watching her and seeing things that she sees.
Exactly.
You know, which so when, like, they were like, yeah, I really wanted to be, like, a De Palma flick, it was like, well,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. You know?
I just want to point out this one shot, which is my favorite shot in the movie. There's a point in the movie where they reveal that she's been stalking the married chick. And it starts off as a split screen of the two of them driving. And they're texting one another while they're driving, which don't text and drive, kids. Just don't.
Yeah.
But they're texting each other while they're driving, and it's her, like, accepting the gig to do her hair at the wedding. And the split screens eventually split off where you see her park and look at her phone. And then you watch the other girl park and get out of her car and walk up to her house. And then one of the views start to pull back, and then we reveal that she's been following her the whole time.
While the other actress walks into the shot of the other.
The split screen becomes a single shot.
Yeah. What?
I was like, I don't even think De Palma's pulled this shot off.
That was great.
That was a favorite shot. Kudos to the cinematographer, kudos to the cameraman, and kudos to the director for putting that together.
For conceiving of that idea.
That shot's amazing, and it happens really early on in the movie. And it was the point in the movie where I was just like, okay, I'm gonna love this movie.
Yeah. Like we're seeing some real stuff.
I've got a cinema boner already. So strap in.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really, it's so nice when you get those. You know?
It's really hard to describe, but when you see the movie, you'll know the shot.
Yeah, when you see the shot, you'll see it. Like, you're not going to be able to forget it. You know, it's going to be like, it's going to be like that shot from, like, fucking Blow Up with fucking, John Lithgow and the American flag and shit. You're just gonna be like, okay, I remember that, and that's never leaving my fucking head.
There you go. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, where can they find you, Count Jackula?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Counting Jack. You can find me on Instagram at Satanic Jackula. And you can find me on Twitch, where I stream every Thursday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I also recently have been running real plays of the RPG I've been working on for the last 2 years called Babylon Rising, which is very much a Nightbreed meets Quentin Tarantino kind of setting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and we've been doing those plays on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Although probably by early 2022, we're going to pick a better time because I think that all the players are sort of like, dude, that's a little early for everybody. But it was the one time we could get everyone to fucking together.
Makes sense.
We're going to schedule a little bit better next time, hopefully. So I'd love to see you there. Twitch.tv/count_Jackula. And what about you?
Y'all know me. I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, and Facebook. Just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema, and I'll be there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you would like to help out either of us more directly, then be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, then even $1 a month can go a long way. And if you made it this far into the vlog, then I want you to put in a hashtag below. I want you to put in a comment below, and be sure to comment below, hashtag scalp wedding. Hashtag scalp wedding. Work it into your comment however you please. That way I know you watched this vlog all the way through. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, there's not going to be a new Blood Splattered Cinema this month because we just had one that just came out last month. But I'm going to try to get one to you as fast as possible because I already have a couple written. But we'll see because this is the holidays. It's a very busy time.
The holiday, you're not. Don't. It's probably not going to happen before 2000.
Most likely, the earliest I'll get it out is like really early January, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. Have we even decided which one we're going to shoot?
Oh yeah, I'll even tell you. Oh. It's King Kong versus Godzilla is going to be the next one. So, I have a couple other ones down the pipeline, some that are written, some that are not, but that one is fully written and ready. It was supposed to come out earlier this year for obvious reasons, but depression and everything.
Depression and COVID and things, and then it was October, and then we had stuff to do.
But I am gearing back into doing way more Blood Splattered Cinemas more regularly, so.
You know what, I'm thinking maybe like next October I might want to try to work at one of the scare rides or haunted houses.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be real cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, this is our last vlog for this week. So peace out. And I'm going to go rest my voice, which is tired after 3 or 4 hours of talking. So catch y'all later.
Unlike me, who can talk for like 8 hours straight.
It's true. He can.
Yeah.